start.
Whoo! Woo, boy. Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast is here for your viewing and listening pleasure. EAGLES Eagles is in the building. Eagle Talk today. And obviously, this ain't nothing really to be hype about. I'm trying to bring the energy, but this, John, it was suspect. We had a lot of suspectness going on. We got a lot of things had to be evaluated if you're an Eagles fan here today. And I know how we do. This is one game, so I don't want to get with Wayne's favorite line, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and it's all over. You know, Ethan and Wayne going to give you a lot of that today. They're going to give you a whole lot of that today about Hurts, and I'm sure people in the fan, RJ, I see you already. I see you're going to get a whole lot of the Chicken Little, sky is falling. Even though Wayne is a proponent of always remaining calm and letting it play out and blah, blah,
How about
blah.
you just give your spew and then I can go and say what I'm
No,
saying.
I'm giving everybody's spew. I'm giving mine and yours. How about that?
You don't
I'm
know
Emineming you.
You don't know what mine is. I'm about to be consistent in everything I've been saying.
Yeah, so anywho, it started off with the defense getting literally walk down the field consistently, nonstop. Then we get the ball. Jalen has an opportunity to match energy, and this is what you have to do as a quarterback, especially when you're down weapons. Saquon sneaky leak behind the defense, gets open. He probably dropped it like he did in Atlanta, but that's neither here nor there. And Jalen throws it to him. He's wide open, and the pass goes out of bounds. I said, what are we doing? Bro, that annoyed me from the rip, right? Then Tampa Bay goes down and scores. We get the ball again. Hurts drops a dime this time to Goddard, 15 yards downfield, and Goddard drops the ball right in the breadbasket. So this it was a dumb game. And then Hurts made a lot of dumb plays after that, and we get blown out 33-16. It was a couple times we had a chance to get back into the game. The defense finally made a couple stops, but the offense, there's some stuff here and there, particularly Saquon, but Hurts wasn't it today. He just wasn't it at all. And obviously, y'all see who's not here today. just like he did a remix of what Wayne used to do last year. Remember when Hurts actually had good games and disappointed podcast last year? Tim did that this year when Hurts had the bad game.
Nah, that's false.
That's absolutely right. We got two people who bet people had good or bad games. But Wayne, go ahead. The floor is yours.
It's funny how my name get dragged in here. Why you gotta use my name? I've been saying. Hey, listen, all I've been saying.
You said last year you were ducking when Hurts played a good game. That's what I'm saying.
I was not. When was I ducking? How many podcasts did I miss last year?
You missed several last year. You don't remember now? You got amnesia? You got that Hurts going on? You can't read the room?
It was when he missed good games.
Yes, Hurts had some good games. Every podcast you would disappear. Yes.
Nah, that's not true. So he had 10. So he had 10 good games, and I missed all 10 good games when he was 10-1. I missed all them games.
No, he didn't play exceptional. The games he actually played really good, you ducked.
Yeah, that's false.
You did.
Anyway.
Ethan, yes or no?
He ducked him.
Thank you. Go ahead,
Wayne. Get your spill.
Thank you.
Hold on. Let the hate start, because I'm gonna pick up right where Wayne leaves off.
No, you can go ahead. Honestly, he is what I thought he was. There ain't even no need for me to flex and none of that other stuff. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all from the beginning. I don't think that he's a great quarterback. I do think he's adequate, and I think it was some misfortune.
You was the only one saying that?
What?
You was the only one saying that.
Where did I say that you
from the beginning about Hurts?
From the beginning, I said I did not like Hurts' arm. You was flip flopping. You did a lot of flip flopping early on. You were going back and forth and everything else early on. Mm-hmm. But from the beginning, remember, that's why everybody say whenever we come on here, they always say is Wayne hate Hurts. Wayne always gonna hate Hurts. Wayne always gonna hate Hurts. When from the jump, I just said it should have been a quarterback competition between him and Wentz. That was my spew from the beginning. But I don't think that his arm strength is all that great. I do think that he could still be an adequate quarterback. I think it's an uphill battle, though. He's missing the top two receivers. Like Ephraim said, Goddard dropped that pass. That's inconvenient, but Hurts just what do you got? Did we get that fumble back when he fumbled? We got the fumble back, though, right?
Yeah,
he
the second
all
fumble.
over once today, right? Yeah. He's turning into a turnover machine.
He tried to throw a couple other picks, but go ahead.
I mean, he's had a good season and a half, I guess. But other than that, he's been – I mean, even if you look at his quarterback ratings, he's a career 86 quarterback rating. Everybody hyped. It was the 1 year he was a 101, and it was he's better than this, that, and other. And he's career around 80-something quarterback rating. He's not
don't count the intangibles in the don't count.
I hear what you're saying.
Rushing touchdowns and
No. They count touchdowns and all that other stuff.
Not the quarterback rate. No, they don't. Not rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. You know why they do? They count some of that stuff because then why was he that year? Why was his quarterback rating a 101?
Because he didn't. His interception ratio was low and his completion percentage.
All right. Well, guess what? Let them count his quarterback runs now. How many of them are he running in without the tush push? Without the tush push, how many quarterback run-ins he doing now?
Tush push is a specialty, though.
Yeah. Well, he specializes in nothing right now, and I do agree.
Today was a bad game.
I think this season more than anything has been the coach, but Hurts is not helping his case. He should be like Purdy. Like I said, he pass it to the players and let them make plays. He just don't got the players on there right now. Go ahead.
Be honest with you, I don't think his arm strength or nothing really has anything to do with him being a good quarterback or not. I think it's as far as decision making and how he reads the blitz and how he navigates the pocket. These are all the things I've been saying about Hurts. The arm, you can deal with the arm if you make. He does make some good passes. He has some touch, but it's decision making to me. It's reading the blitz. It's throwing to the hot receiver. It's feeling the pressure in the pocket. It's all those things to me that been going on since his first year is why I have the problem. Just a couple. We've been talking about stepping up in the pocket. Things he still don't do. You might see him. The last game he started stepping up in the pocket. The first time we've seen since he started playing. Because he always rolled out. He always forced to roll out. It's decision making. It's what happens when they blitzing you. It's things like that bothers me. Forget the arm. It's the mental aspects of the game that I don't think is clicking with him. Like, why do you keep taking into that though? I mean, arm adds into that. If you could read the game and read a play, get the ball out. Get the ball out.
If you got the arm, if you got the arm,
you have arms that still was good quarterbacks.
If you got the arm, you can squeeze it into tighter places. You don't have to read as precise because you can make up for mistakes with a big arm.
I agree with that a little bit, but I mean, you got quarterbacks like
definitely.
You got quarterbacks like Titans, the quarterback who Levitt, who actually has a big arm and makes dumb play after dumb play. So I agree with you a little bit, but at the same time, I do think it's decision making trumps all of this. And I agree with Ethan. You got to make better. Even the whole fumble when we was in the red zone. You just sidestepped the dude who just went right past you. It wasn't like he was necessarily pushed past you by offensive lineman when you think, okay, the offensive lineman might still be pushing him. He himself just went past you. So he's coming back very quickly to come for the ball. So you got to sometimes you got to take the sack. Just go down. I remember Eli Manning was famous for sometimes just going down, taking the sack. But he didn't.
Now Bull
going for those type of plays because he went down. Sometimes you just got to go down, or sometimes you just got to just throw the ball to the ground. Just get it out your hand, throw it past the line of scrimmage. After you throwing somebody, just get the ball out your hands. It was some bonehead plays to me that ultimately caused us this game and stifled drives. And that because if we just scored that one drive, it could have been a whole different game. The pressure is now on Tampa Bay. Now the defense, hopefully they getting some momentum. A lot of times football games, we know it's about emotion. It's about momentum. You can shift the tide in the game very easily with one or two plays. Even that block field goal was huge. I mean, the block extra point that we took back, those are momentum-changing plays. And if we capitalize on that, it could have been a different ball game.
Absolutely.
We got to capitalize on that stuff, man. He was irritating me today real bad. Today is not the day to cape for him. Granted, like Wayne said, he was down weapons. He was down 2 starting wide receivers. But my problem is, and I told y'all, I like to see him get Goddard more involved. But good night. I didn't want to see Goddard get the ball every play. How many catches Goddard probably had like 12 catches. You still have receivers. You still got Dotson, who didn't get his first catch, I think, the 4th quarter. You got the bull who caught the touchdown. Like, you got to use somebody. These dudes are professional NFL receivers for a reason. They might not be top tier, but I know they could get open. I know Dotson could get open. I know some of these dudes is open. You got to work these dudes a little bit more, man. I just ain't like the over-reliance on the tight end. To me, the over-reliance on the tight end felt almost like a young quarterback. That's what young quarterbacks do. They rely on their tight ends in situations that they are nervy. Like, that's what it kind of felt like to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to address a comment before I forgot. Who said it? Jack the White. When Wayne said Hurts rating is 86, he's referring to his passer rating, not his quarterback rating. That's why I said
I know I'm talking about quarterback rating. Yes.
His passer rating, his overall passer rating, right? As you're talking about.
Well, I guess
the passer rating doesn't count the rushing. He said the quarterback rating does. The passer rating is at 86. That doesn't count the quarterback rushing.
Okay,
but
he's a good running back. So he's a good running back. Okay, so he was a good running back. But for everybody here talking about the Wentz, y'all do realize even when Wentz was with the Colts, as Master Crab brings out, he had a 94 passer rating, which is better than every year Hurts had, except for the year when everybody was saying he should have been an MVP. And Wentz had 2 years where he had an over 100 passer rating, but we talked about how trash he was that year when he had a 101 passer rating. But we hyped up Hurts 101 because the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's tomato right now. And Hurts is still, and Wentz is still in the league. He's back up for Andy Reid. So you better hope he don't have it. You better hope he don't. You better hope what's the name don't get hurt, and Wentz got to come in there and get to play under Andy Reid.
And Hurts got to stop turning the ball over in the red. Is this the third time? He has to stop turning the ball over in the red zone, man. Come on, this is your 5th year in the league. This is stuff you should learn in your first year about turnovers in the red zone. They're team killers, not just drive killers. Team killers. We'd have scored in that red zone. It would have been a one possession. We'd have scored on that drive. Would have been a one possession game, but could flip the whole momentum of the game. You can't have that.
Did you put some of that on the coach?
Got to get rid of that ball. That's on Hurts. Saquon picked up the blitz. How long can you expect him to hold him? You got to get rid of that ball. Step up, get rid of the ball.
Yeah, the one John he got. What was the play? One of the plays, they blitzed, and I think the DN ended up getting them. The blitz actually got picked up by everybody. Your mic is on mic. Your mic is on mute. And all Hurts had to do was actually step up a little bit. If Hurts stepped up, the blitz from the middle was contained. It would have gave him another second to survey and get the ball in his hands or take off. But that to me is one of his biggest problems is reading the pocket around him and navigating the pocket.
But y'all told me he was better at that this year, right?
No, we said reading the blitz. I'm talking about reading the pocket even when somebody's not blitzing. Hurts to me don't navigate the pocket well. Like for instance, I remember one of the best pocket navigators outside, obviously like Tom Brady, was Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben could navigate the pocket, and he wasn't fast, he wasn't athletic, but he was strong. Couldn't really take him down, but he knew how to subtle steps to the right and to the left. It don't even have to be nothing crazy. The players are coming in so fast. Sometimes it's your best ally is to slow your game down. All you got to do is just bop to the left, bop to the right, and somebody go right past you. And then you can do what you got to do. But it hurts to me. Sometimes he runs himself into trouble while trying to run out of the pocket too early. It's little stuff like that takes away from his overall performances, man. And today was just a bad. I can't do no caping for Hurts today. It was just a bad performance, bro.
So basically, he just has to have he has to have ideal situation. He has to have the best offensive line and the best receiving core and one of the best running backs in order for him to be, outstanding quarterback, I guess.
Did he have that the year into the Super Bowl? I mean, he had A.J. Brown, he had Devontae.
Yeah, we had one of the best offensive lines, yes.
I mean, how many quarterbacks don't have that go to the Super Bowl, though? Like, I mean, if you go
to Kansas City?
I'm sorry?
Who the boy in Kansas City?
You talking about two? If anybody mentions Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes,
wait. For a minute, you was arguing saying he might even be better than Patrick Mahomes.
I was saying he might be having a better season at that time. I didn't say he was better than Patrick Mahomes. I said better season. He was coming.
You was like the only quarterback better than was Patrick Mahomes, and he might be better than him.
My point is, you're gonna sit here and name two great players. Outside of that, every quarterback needs somebody around them to get to the ultimate goal to win games. You need players. Look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield got a nice running game, crazy wide receiving core with Godwin and the bull. Mike, what's his name? I'm talking about Mike Evans. Crazy receiving core. And he made plays today. So that's the majority. This is why you draft. This is why we talk about drafting men is so important. This is why the offensive line is so important. This is why running backs are so important. You need these.
Aaron Rodgers got there before without a great receiving core and great running back.
Aaron Rodgers pretty much always had a very solid receiving core. Who do you have? Who didn't he have? Aaron Rodgers had.
Tell me how great his receiving core was.
Yeah, he always had Aaron. But
he's had a
good number one receiver.
Okay, a good receiver.
And he always had a solid running game for the most part. The offensive line was solid. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's a great quarterback. He is a great quarterback, but he had the year he went to the Super Bowl. Go Google that team. And wasn't that who else he had on that team? On that Super Bowl team? He had some great. He had Devontae. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, great. Devontae Adams.
Who else? I just told you Devontae. Who else did he have?
He always had the bull, which we called the other bull who went to the Giants. What's the bull? He had a couple. Kobe, he had a couple. I can't.
You can't remember the boy name. Talking about how great he was.
He had great. You know he had solid receivers. Aaron Rodgers.
Who was in running back?
Jordy Nelson. He had the boy. He always had somebody good, man.
What Jordy Nelson did without Aaron Rodgers?
Jordy Nelson got hurt. You can't listen. You can't get around the fact that quarterbacks need weapons. They need weapons. They need offensive line. The game is won and lost in the trenches.
I mean,
offensive line didn't play well today. Lane Johnson. We act like we forget Lane Johnson wasn't there either, so that didn't help.
I mean, that argument wasn't being made when Wentz was struggling with dudes that ain't even in the league no more, and everybody was talking about how Wentz was done and don't even give a quarterback competition and everything else, and then they went out and put all these receivers around Hurts.
Wentz did the same. Well, I'm not sure why we argue.
No, you wasn't a big. No, that's not directed at you because you was always fair when it came to Wentz.
Man, when did he fumble? He fumbled in the Super Bowl, right? So he had to first of all to get to the Super Bowl, and then we lost the Super Bowl on a very, very suspect several calls, very suspect field and all that stuff. Hurts, for real, as bad as Hurts has been playing lately, and especially today. He should have a Super Bowl. Eagles should have another Super Bowl against Kansas City. I was here. If y'all was here for that podcast, I broke down that Super Bowl and why we should have won and how that game was kind of rigged with the whole State Farm thing and all that. That whole thing was suspect. But that's neither here nor there. The stats will go and say.
Was that a great team?
We should have won that Super Bowl.
Was that a great team we had when we went to the Super Bowl with when Nick Foles won?
That was a team of destiny. Wasn't nobody stopping that team. That was a very good team. Defensive wise. We had BG was still relatively in his prime. We had who was that safety? The boy 27, I forget his name, who came from the Saints. He was a baller.
Hold on, because that season our secondary was struggling. We had that's when we had Jalen, the green haired dude. Our secondary was getting cooked that season.
Yeah, not cooked. They were. I'm not gonna say cooked. And the running game was solid. We had Blunt. We had Najahi. We had
we had to pick on game. That's when Howie made a bunch of good pickups to pick up running back. He made pickups to pick up players because we started out trash that year, but Carson was still carrying the offense. Until he got hurt.
Carson was balling. I'm not hating on Carson. He was balling just like I'm. At the end of the day, both of them didn't make the leap. Neither one of them haven't made the leap so far. So we arguing for two dudes who did the same thing. That's why I understand why Carson name keep coming up. Because they're doing the same thing. It's not like Carson was so much more spectacular like we should have kept him. He went to the Colts and did the same thing. Turned the ball over, bad decisions, all that. Same thing.
The Colts, he was a 92 quarterback rate with 21.
And he didn't do nothing. What did he do?
21 touchdowns and 7. But when Hurts had 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, we talking about how great he was. And
he had fumbles and all that kind of stuff. He did the same thing. What did he do? That's the point. Yeah. And Hurts is doing the same thing right now, so I'm not capable for Hurts, just like I ain't capable for Carson. I was on Carson bandwagon for a minute. I thought he was going to do the thing until he wasn't. And Jalen did the same thing. I'm riding with Jalen now until he's not. Like these dudes gotta play better. He gotta make better decisions, man.
Tell him why you lurking in the shadows. Come in and take your medicine, bro. Come in and cape. Let's see how you can cape for this bull. If Tim could spin for this bull right now, he need to be.
Give me Eli and Maine. I want them two back on the show because clearly Tim don't want to be here. Put them back on. Mastercraft, what did he do? He was 27-7. What did he? I don't think he went to the playoffs. He missed the playoffs that year. What did he do? Don't tell me 27-7. He fumbled and all that kind of stuff.
He was only 21-7. He wasn't 27.
Whatever he was.
Yeah.
But still,
I mean, that being said,
the playoffs looking at.
That being said, I still, because I did say before the season, I think I think if Hurts has a perfect setup, he can be a general on a team. I just don't think that he's he's like the general that sit there and direct this, that, and the other. He's not like the Viking type general that go into the field, lead the field, and go and draw the sword
Jalen,
out and chill. Yeah, he's not that. Jalen like the boy like attack the left, attack the flank, circle the wagons. That's him. He he he.
Can I jump in because y'all have to
no. Go ahead. Where are you at anyway? What we doing here?
He in the basement crying.
I had to go. So listen, this is not the day for me to cape for Jalen at all. So I'm not even going to try to go in that direction.
Please don't.
For the most part, what I do feel though is I don't think the game plan wasn't a good game plan, to be honest with you. To me, this was the game to feature Saquon, and for you not to go in as him being the feature for this particular game makes no sense. That goes from that starts from the coach and the offensive coordinator. You cannot sit here and tell me that you down all these receivers, everybody's injured, the right side of the line is messed up, and you still want to sit there and just not even feature Saquon in the first half. I mean, that was so dumb. Like, just the game plan for this particular game, it made absolutely no sense. And then I can't keep for Jalen. You cannot throw the ball. You can't fumble the ball at all. You just can't do it. I mean, all your goodwill pretty much is up as far as making those mistakes. Now we needed a perfect game from you, and that means that you got to feel the blitz. You got to know when the pressure's coming. He knew coming in there that Todd Bowles was going to blitz them at least 50% of the time, and probably at the end of the day, it's probably more like 80% of the time that they blitzed him. Knowing that, they should have been prepared for nothing but screens, nothing but like just those quick drops and passes. All of that should have been the game plan. There should not have been no 2 or 3 step drops where you're trying to find a receiver downfield. The same thing they did to Baker Mayfield. Mind you, Baker had that's how they got Mike Evans. His first pass was a side pass, and that opening, he got like 4 or 5 yards off of that. Then he was able to get the touchdown at the end of that same first drive, but it was based off of short, quick passes. That should have been the whole game plan. Short, quick passes. That did not happen. For some reason, they didn't want to feature Saquon, and they wanted to throw the ball downfield, knowing that they're going to be teeing off on your quarterback. That was the stupidest game plan you possibly could have had today. I don't even understand why. And I'm blaming Nick Sirianni, but I'm also blaming this offensive coordinator. You should know better. You had the whole summer, the last game that you saw the Eagles, or the first game you should have saw was our last when we played Tampa, and Tampa gave it to us. He had the whole summer to practice of what Tampa does.
But Tim, you right, and you wrong. I'm gonna tell you why you right. You right because we should have featured Saquon more. If any game you go Saquon heavy is this game.
Saquon had 10 runs for 84 yards. That's crazy.
But you know why you couldn't do the short, quick passes? Because they were actually playing up on your wide receivers. We were playing back off of Mike, off of Godwin, off of the young boy 17, whatever his name is. We remember Tom Brady kept saying it, like we giving these dudes cushions. So the quick short pass was there. We didn't have the quick short pass. If you notice how close they were playing up on Dotson and the other ball, they wasn't letting that happen. That's why at that point, you have to either scheme your dudes open, or when you get opportunities to make throws, you got to make them, and you got to squeeze some tight windows. Jalen wasn't challenging the tight windows. He kept going to Goddard. Goddard was getting open, and he kept going to Goddard. But you got to challenge some of them tight windows. And the only way you're going to get that defense to relax is if you beat them 3, 4, 5 times, and then they're going to say, yo, you know what? We got to change something different because he beat us. Jalen got to make them tight throws, bro. You got
and
to.
That's where I say confidence in your arm. That's where confidence in the arm comes in. And also the lack of confidence because you've thrown so many picks this year. So I do think that some of that's probably creeped up in his head too, and he's hearing it. He's hearing about all the turnovers and stuff that he's had. So right now it's probably in his head. Like I can't squeeze that in there. That's going to get intercepted, and it's going to be on me for turning this over again. So
right now, Jalen is at the bottom. He's at the last, the number 32 on quarterbacks as far as getting the ball out fast. It's actually 3.17 seconds that it's taking him to get the ball out. He's dead last in the league. So that's another thing. This is not historically. He wasn't the last, but for some reason this year he's at the very bottom. So that's another thing that's playing into why people are teeing off on him. He got to get that ball out a lot quicker
because he got exposed last year.
He didn't get exposed last year. What happened is
the blitz.
But let's not forget, he's 4 games into a brand new offense. He's 4 games. So as much as we criticize him for this particular game.
The Washington rookie Washington rookie is 4 games into a new offense too.
And nobody knows nothing about that rookie. Nobody knows nothing except there's no tape on him whatsoever. When nobody has tape on
what's the tape they got? So what's the tape they got on Jalen that he can't make passes?
No, but the tape they know his likes and what he does well, and they take him away from him. You got
run. That's what he does well. Run.
No, he does not. He does. And that is the plus.
You saw him limping around again today. I told you can't make a career off of being that. He can't make a career being Tim Tebow 2.0.
Jalen to me is irritating about Jalen too. And you're right, Eric. We're going to talk about the defense too. But Jalen to me, I see him put, in my opinion, way too many passes out of bounds. Even that Saquon play early when he scrambled to the right, Saquon got behind the defense and was wide open. And the best placement that he puts the ball is literally out of bounds. And it happened several times today. I was in a flag football league yesterday, and one quarterback kept doing the same thing. The joke was so irritating, it made me sick. I got in one game, went down for a touchdown, but that's either here or not there.
Uncle Rico.
I'll be dropping dimes like that. But the worst thing you can do for a receiver is put the ball consistently in an uncatchable position. At
least leading them, to your point, at least leading them to a spot where they could do something and make something with it.
Yes, not out of bounds. I'm talking about 4 or 5 yards out of bounds. That's crazy to me. Come on, you cannot do that, man. That to me is almost egregious for an NFL quarterback to have several throws like that. To me, that's egregious, and that's what Jalen did today, and that irked my very fiber of my soul watching him do that. So let's get on the defense.
X-Men also, I do want to say one thing, X-Men.
Go ahead.
Today, I do think he played hero ball, and I don't agree with you all the time when you say he playing hero ball, but today I think he did play a little bit of hero ball, and the reason why is because hand that ball off to Saquon. Those runs it was a lot of unnecessary runs that he took that he didn't have to because he wanted to get funky with it, and you don't need to do that. And to me, this was an opportunity. Just let you got a superstar. Let him eat. Just let him eat. It's okay to let other bulls eat. Let him eat today, and then just go on to.
But is that on Jalen or is that on Keelan Moore? You was blinking in and out too. But is that on Jalen or is that on Keelan? Because remember, wasn't that the take on him when he was in Dallas where they were saying how he was focusing on, and that's why Dak was putting up these great passing numbers, but then they were saying how he wasn't running the ball enough over there. So is this the way he does things? But to your point, because I know you're about to get on the defense, and I agree with what you're about to say about him. But I do got to give Tampa some props. Some of them passes that Baker, like you was talking about making them tight passes, he made some tight passes that the Eagles actually had covered, that them dudes was just making them catches, and we was just like a second behind on them. So, but that being said, I don't like our defensive scheme. I don't like this. We give them too much room.
Yeah, I agree too. We do that consistently. We play too far back for our secondary, our safeties. I see people running. It's a huge cushion in the middle of the field. I know Tampa got some dudes that can stretch the field, so you want to be cautious of that. But you're supposed to be top line speed athletes. You can't be that intimidated that somebody going to get behind you every play that you leave in the middle of the field wide open. At a certain point in the game, it was pitch and catch. I'm surprised Tampa only ended with 33 points. I honestly, by the end of the first quarter, I thought they was going to get 42, 49 points. I just knew it was going to happen. We couldn't stop them. Eventually, we kind of started getting some stops here and there. We got a sack. Brandon Graham, the old line in there, is still doing his thing. But our pass rush all together, all around, is 100% pure garbage. Our pass rush cannot get in there at all. Whatchamacallit, Sweat finally gets his first sack. It was more of a coverage sack than anything. First sack in months. He finally gets, in almost a full calendar year, he finally gets his first sack. Since week 9 last year, we're in week 4, going on week 5 this year. So
but we didn't need Hassan. though. We didn't need Hassan. He wanted too much money.
I mean, that's the point about management making bad decisions.
And this is the problem with you got to have. All right, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
That's why I'm also done with the boy Fangio for real. I know we've been spending a lot on offense, but this defense, first of all, the boy Devin White, he played all summer long, all due training camp. He was the best linebacker. And Dean to me had an up and down game. Sometimes making plays, other times I'm seeing him get trucked and everything. He's a small middle linebacker. You cannot have him in there. But we got the boy Devin White healthy scratches the last 2 games, including this game. It's the 3rd game that he's been a healthy scratch. They're not even telling us why they're not playing him. They're just not playing the ball. It's like, and then think about it. They've been running Fangio's defense for the last 3 years. And it's not good, but we still stuck with it. That's what I'm saying. Sirianni got to go. Fangio got to go. I mean, if I'm blowing the whole thing up, starting all over. If you want to give Kellen Moore the job as the head coach, fine. But I do not like this defensive scheme at all.
Yeah, see, you can't have this type of defensive scheme if you can't do one. You got to be able to do one or two things with your offense. If you're going to run this kind of defense scheme, you better have a big bang, big play offense that's going to fire, that's going to get into that bang, 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 score for score. Because the defense bends, but they have done a pretty decent job of protecting the red zone for most of the season. So even though they give up a lot of yardage, but if they're giving up that much yardage, then that means as an offense, you either have to go down and bang, score a touchdown when they get a field goal, or you march down the field and you give your defense some rest and you milk the clock out on offense. You can't go in there and be trying to be high flying offense and then just go 3 and out and get the ball right back. Because your defense, at some time they're going to keep bending and eventually they're going to break if they're back on the field like that continuously.
As the wing, or somebody said, as the wing said, Fangio is the godfather of the bend over and don't break. But I mean, listen, y'all speaking facts. Y'all speaking facts. But I guess as a player who played and liked playing cornerback, I hate the way our corners play a lot. Mitchell is actually going to be a young baller. I like him. But it's way too much cushion on 3rd and short plays. It'd be a 3rd and 7. We lined up all the way at the first down marker. I'm like, why are you always back there? Like, who? I don't understand.
And if you want to be that far back, at least be a great tackler. They're not even great tacklers. Yes. Like, if you're going to play and get the ball right to there, then just make sure as soon as they catch it, bang, you tackle, you're going to win. Like, they playing way off and still not making tackles.
So, Tim, Jalen ain't doing us no favors. I've been caping for Jalen for quite some time, and I don't know. I don't want to say Jalen not it, but today he just looked. This is one of them games, especially. I was kind of irritated. We got the ball back before half with a minute and something left. We had an opportunity to put a touchdown or a field goal drive together, and I think it was a 3 and out. We came away with absolutely nothing, and I'm like, this you can't tell me, even with. It's not your starters. You got to still starting running back. I know you're missing 3 wide receivers because you're missing Covey too. And your offensive lineman, your starting offensive lineman. But these dudes you got Goddard, you got Saquon, you got Dotson. You tell me you can't get 40 yards to get in a field goal position and possibly a touchdown? Like, come on, man. This stuff is just aggravates my soul just watching this, John. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that last drive he actually threw another ball out of bounds on that drive. Not last.
They should have slowed it. They should have slowed this. This is one of those games where you slow it down, though. Bottom line is you make it a grind out game. It's like you're trying to win one on the road. It's 177 degrees on the field, so it's not like it was an ideal situation for both teams. But you slow it down. You don't run that same offense. You got to adapt, knowing that you don't have your weapons. That's what I said. This is coaching malpractice. This is why I'm telling you. And this go back to Howie Roseman. If Howie Roseman, he needs to get somebody who's going to really be the challenge him. He's not the bright. You can't be the wise man always in the locker room. Get somebody that's smart. That's going to be just Sirianni's not it. He just give you a lot of different sound bites.
Well,
that's it.
This comes to another point. I guess you might put this on Howie, but the Eagles put a lot of money into that offense. You played that quarterback big money. You paid the running back big money. AJ getting decent money. Didn't Devontae just got a nice contract? You put a lot of money into that offense. That offense got to come to play. I understand the defense is slacking this, that, and other, but we let Hassan Reddick go because of money, right? We put all this money into the offense, the offensive lineman, the quarterback, the running back, the receivers, all that money on there. That's where they should be.
You can't blame them. They didn't play though. The offense,
I don't care what you say. You put the money into them dudes. They got to produce.
But the money's not. They can't produce if they're not on the field.
Well, guess what? My point is, you put all the money into that, and you took money away from the defense. You had big contracts come off for the defense. Like you had Cox come off. His contract came off.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's not the point he's making. You were saying that they put all that.
You heard
money
that news?
They got to. So if they put all that money into that offense and the offense ain't there, then that offense ain't there. They
put it into that quarterback. That money he getting, he should put him on his back. He should put him on their back like, I got y'all. That's what he should be doing right now.
Okay, so you telling me he's going to go up against the defense? He's going to win? It was an ideal situation. I'm sorry.
Then he can hand it off to the running back who actually produces.
And that's why when I came on, I said
he from over there setting the mood right.
He was
setting the mood right. Can we talk?
You got to release stress somehow, fellas. But listen, all that being said,
$50 million game manager.
Tim talked about it. I think Mr. Wing or somebody was just mentioning about running the ball. I wasn't necessarily talking about. I was particularly talking about that play, but 1 minute and 24 seconds that we got the ball back. That's not the time to be running the ball. You got to make some passes downfield. You got to connect with your wide receivers. Yes, should the offensive game plan been run heavy for the most part of the game? Absolutely, because we was missing all our top dogs. But when the going gets tough at times. And you got to throw the ball if you're a $200 million quarterback. If you're playing with NFL receivers at a certain point in time, you got to make some throws downfield and you got to be able to squeeze some passes into these tight windows. I cannot stress that enough.
Did y'all talk about that dime that he squeezed to Goddard on our first possession and he just let it, or the second possession, and he just let it go through his hands?
I talked about that.
Because those are the kind of plays that really...
That was one play.
It was one play, but when you down all your players,
how many plays did he almost throw interceptions on and he got?
I think so too, X-Man. I could guarantee you players are open and Hurts not seeing them. Some of the wide receivers, I can almost guarantee that myself. I'm not a Hurts hater. Y'all know me, but I think he's missing some stuff he should have been hitting on that field today.
And all season long, I've been saying I think that the coaching has been horrible. I've been calling that out even from the whole point of not letting the starters get some cohesion in preseason. This whole coaching staff has irked me all season. But that being said, Hurts getting paid the big money. You gotta make the plays.
Well, I thought you didn't care about big money. You just got whoever's out there. Remember, that's what you said when we talked about Tobias Harris. Like, it don't matter.
You know why I care about the big money with them now? You know why I care about it now?
No, I don't want to hear. Don't change it up now.
You don't want to change it. You don't want to try to change the subject. See now when I bring up the Sixers when we talk about the Eagles, I always get told that I'm this, that, and the other. But see, he brought up Tobias. My point that I'm making about the contract is I'm talking about Howie. You put all our resources into the offensive side of the ball, into the offense, whereas though now you took away from the defense. You can't re-sign Hassan Reddick. You're saying he costs too much money because you're putting all this money into your receivers and your quarterback and your running back.
They got $24 million on the cap. They could sign him. The problem is they don't want to sign him down. I've got to figure out why you didn't want to sign him. If they wanted Hassan Reddick would be here. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's back here next week because they talking about he wouldn't mind come back to the Eagles. And the way our defensive ends, they're going to need him back here.
Facts. Every week that passes, Hassan Reddick gets more and more valuable. So we'll see what happens with that.
Especially with Agent Zero out there stinking it up.
But I got to give credit to Baker. Baker had a great game. I got to give credit to the wide receivers, Mike Evans and all them boys, and they did their thing. I got to give credit for Todd Bowles. He He
Ty
knows
Bowles a sucker, man.
He
I
knows
can't stand that boy.
I mean,
he can't stand Ty Bowles because Ty Bowles got Jalen right here.
His
No,
job
in that hip pocket.
He'll tell like he don't blitz nobody, but he want to blitz this one boy, the black boy.
Because he know this one ball Trace had reading the blitz. You told me he was better.
He's a sucker. If he gets CTE, I'm gonna put it in his obituary because of Ty Bowles. Jalen Hurts died of CTE. I'm telling you.
No, it's because he don't just hand it off to Saquon. That's just like
No,
you see
listen.
him play options and he hold on to the ball.
Bowles' job, much like Hurts, is to win games.
That's
and if
true.
that's Hurts' weakness, then that's Hurts' fault. Hurts ain't gonna take no mercy on Todd if he start dissecting him. If he start getting that ball out of his hands and Todd defense looking suspect, he ain't gonna have no mercy on him. So my thing is, listen, bro, you understand what he gonna do when he come in there. The coaches got to have you ready for that, and you mentally have to be ready for that. It disappears to be a huge Achilles heel for the boy Jalen Hurts, and the more he do it, the more Todd Bowles do and other teams start doing it, like New York did it, the more other teams are going to start doing it. And it's at a certain point, either Hurts going to have to learn it or you got to sit down, and that's going to be a very, very sad day if he got to get benched because he can't read that blitz.
So if we asking y'all today, y'all Hurts supporters.
CJ Stroud is nice. I like CJ.
The Hurts supporters. If we ask y'all today, was that year when he was a MVP candidate? Was that like the anomaly? And this is who he is, or was he just did he grow into that and then for some reason regress and he's going to go back?
I think it's almost a little bit of the Donovan McNabb thing. I think Hurts don't mind running, but I think he's trying to develop as a passer. When I think they need to do more rollout plays for Hurts. I think Hurts is a read option quarterback, and I think they need to consistently keep that in his repertoire all the time. He did that more that year than probably any other year he's ever played, and I think they need to keep that in his repertoire, and that's his game. And when you start taking that away from Hurts, he's as a passer, right now he's struggling and he's turning the ball over. So. That's the cold-blooded truth right now. The read option is his best friend.
No, I think he'd be all right. I've seen growth. I've seen a lot of things.
You've seen growth?
Yes, I've seen growth. And I would also see is that he don't have his weapons weren't there. And it was 107. I know it was 107 degrees on the field. Try going outside. I didn't even want to go outside when it was 100 degrees. Imagine playing football.
Did he have his weapons? Weather. Did he have his weapons at the end of last year?
No, AJ didn't play last year. That's what I'm talking about. He hasn't had his number one weapon in neither of these Tampa Bay games. So no, he didn't.
AJ got hurt. When did AJ get hurt? It was like the last 3 games. I think it wasn't like during that stride. AJ was there during a lot of that downfall. He was still
he was there in the downfall, but again, Sirianni once again wouldn't allow Brian Johnson to actually be an offensive coordinator playing that juvenile offense. But still, he didn't even have AJ last year in that playoff game that we played in January.
We're not just talking about the playoff game. I'm talking about ever since you tout
so
this 10-1.
Okay, so all right, so when we was 10-1 and he was the leading MVP candidate,
no, he wasn't.
Was you saying the same thing?
Yes.
No, you weren't.
He wasn't the leading MVP candidate.
He was the leading. He was the leading. Go back there on December 1st. He was the front runner, according to Vegas, for MVP of the National Football League. And then we
not while Pat Mahomes was in the league. Pat Mahomes was doing it with
All you gotta do is look it up.
I don't care about Vegas. Vegas going to hedge whatever way they're going to hedge for the money. Because they want people to gamble a certain way.
So here again, he was the MVP leader up until December of last year.
Okay, so then what happened after that?
It was a tailspin. There was a tailspin. That's why.
So what happened? Then what happened?
We fired our defensive coordinator, and then we fired the other defensive coordinator.
So was he playing better?
Because we kept giving up points. When the offense doesn't have more points than defense, you lose.
You do know that the last, I don't know, it might be like the last 2 seasons now. His turnovers is going crazy.
Okay.
So was that the defense fault?
It was the offensive line fault. Listen, today is not the day for me to be capable, but I'm not gonna sit you.
And yet you still will.
You acting like Ty Bowles. You just want to tee off from Hurts. I'm not gonna let you do that either.
Why not? Ain't that his job?
What? No, I'm saying you teeing off on Hurts like Ty Bowles did.
Honestly, the first thing I said. The first thing I said was he didn't have his weapons.
Okay, that's
the same way I've been saying this whole season. I haven't been blaming Hurts for everything. I said to me, Hurts need to be more of a game managing type quarterback. I do. I think that's his strength. I think that he can be a general. I think you put the weapons around him and make the smart plays. Check down. Stop. Don't try to force it in here and there. Check down.
All you doing is backhanded compliments.
It's not backhanded compliments. That's what I think he is.
No, he's more than that.
That's what you think, and I'm telling you what I think.
Motion today, either now that I think of it. I see a lot of motion. I ain't see that much motion in the time.
I had a mo trend. My head was spinning.
But I ain't see that much movement. They need to roll the pocket for her. When they start blitzing, this is where your offensive coordinator has to scheme. Hurts clearly struggles against the blitz. He's gotten slightly better, but there's no question about it. That's his Achilles heel. So at a certain point, you have to scheme to help him out, either with screen plays, either with rolling the pocket to get the offensive lineman, somebody to chip block them blitzers coming inside to give them an extra second or so. And even when you roll the pocket, or if you roll Hurts out of the pocket, it will allow him to see the field from a different perspective. Hurts actually plays a lot better when he's on. For the most part, he plays better, and he sees the field better when he's on the move. We got to move.
Mr. Wayne made a good point, and I just looked at that. We beat Tampa last year. Not in the playoffs, of course.
Early in the season, yeah.
Yeah, so Tim talking about how because Ty Bowles this and maybe
he wasn't blitzing that much.
Yeah, because he looked at it, he said, this dude can't read the blitz. But Tim told me he's better at it this year. He told me how he didn't leap to. What did Jalen Hurts grow in this year? What is he better in this year?
He got better. Listen, he did get better, but he still needs to improve.
What's he got better at?
I said reading the blitz. He got better. He just got to improve. He still got to improve on it. He got to improve. The
Tim still call him young Jalen. Remember how Tim was saying he was in his rookie season for like the first 3 seasons? He's like, this really only Jalen first year because it was only a half a year. And then remember he kept trying to say that Jalen was only in his second year for like 4 years. Is he still in the second year, Tim?
And we should have ran the ball more.
That was his redshirt year.
Honestly though, that's where it comes down to, and I'll stick to it. I'll stick to it about what I've been saying all season. The coaching has been horrible. I don't think Jalen's played great. And if it wasn't for the fact that the end of last season, he turned the ball over like that and is continuing to do it, this year I would kind of look at it like, it might just be because it's a whole bunch of things. He don't got his receivers. It's a new offense. It's just another. But he started that slide last year. So that's where I'm looking at like, I don't think that the coaching staff is doing them any favors. I think to the point that I've been saying all season, you got Saquon, who's a beast. That should be the feature of your offense. Let teams have to overcompensate to try to stop him and open up the other stuff. But they want to come out and they trying to force him to pass. Remember how Andy used to do that with Donovan at certain points? It was like he would come out and pass, and here you got like you had like Westbrook and all these other. You had Westbrook and Buckholder. You got these running backs. Yeah, Deuce Staley, Buckholder, and Westbrook, like pound the rock, but you trying to come out and make Donovan this passer, which he really wasn't, especially when your receivers wasn't that good at that point. And that's what the Eagles was doing now.
We was down 14. We had a chance to score and actually cut it to 7, and there was no mixed match as far as running and passing the ball. And Jalen, at some point, I need him to be like, you know what? Our home run hit is right there. Just give him the ball in those circumstances. Especially you was doing good, but you don't gotta eat by yourself. Let everybody eat. And today I'm telling you, he played not buddy ball, but he played hero ball a little bit too much today, and I didn't like it. And that really cost us the game.
Well,
can't even call it. He do look like he got slower since he got that money weighing him down. That money and them extra earrings wearing him down.
Don't hate. Let that man earn his money. He just got to figure that.
You gonna hate on the young boy for the fingernail polish? I'm gonna hate on this dude with these earrings walking around.
The young boy ain't do nothing yet. At least Jalen led us to the Super Bowl at some point, so I can't hate on that. The young boy got to earn his keep before he get the respect that you.
Is Jalen Hurts still top 10 quarterback?
Yep. Yes, he is. He just had a bad game. He's 2-2. He's 2-2 right now. I mean, it's gonna be a tough 2 weeks. He got to eat it. He got to take it on the chin, and then he'll pause. But he'll be all right.
All right, y'all. All right.
I'm out. Y'all continue y'all discussion.
Oh my goodness! But I mean, all that being said, I'm still not. The defense concerns me more than anything else. I just don't think that the defense and offense matches. I don't think they match up. Like, I think you can't have a defense that's bend but don't break, and then the offense can't put up point. The offense can't control the clock or control the scoreboard. I got to have a big bang offense, which is what I think that the Eagles thought that they was doing with this defensive scheme and the stuff that they put into this defense. I think that they thought, listen, we got a top tier receiving core, we got top tier line, we got top tier running back, we got top tier quarterback that's coming into the league, coming into the season. Our offense should be putting up points. Our offense should be averaging like 30 points. For real, our offense should be average. But AJ has been hurt, and then Devontae got hurt last game. But even before Devontae got hurt, our offense wasn't like that first game. Our offense wasn't dominant like that. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think a lot of it does go on coaching, though. I don't like the way they coaching this team.
If Hurts don't get it together, Howie may never get out another big contract to a quarterback again. They're gonna have to be here for like 5 years before he get somebody get a big quarterback contract, because this is about to blow up in their face twice. Jeffrey Lurie is probably furious right now at paying Hurts all that bread if he don't get it together. So, I mean, we're going to see. I'm not all the way out on Hurts. I know Mr. Wing said he out on Hurts at this point. I'm not all the way out, but I am very concerned. Very concerned. So, we're going to see.
But see, you know what, though? I mean, I don't know if they can necessarily say that because, all right, this is what I'm saying with Wentz, and I'm not absolving him for how he's played since then. But all right, like the years that he had that first year like a 79 quarterback rating, but then he had 101, 102, 93. And then that last year when he had that 72, that team was trash. When he had that's the same team that Jalen came in to take his spot and was stinking it up too. That we had no NFL receiver on that roster in that last year that Wentz was here. Remember that's is that the year that we went to the playoffs and like when me and Ethan went down there to the Washington game? And they had like the backup quarterback dude that was playing a wide receiver, and like you had a team full of wide receivers that couldn't do nothing. So, I mean, matter of fact, no, that year that he had that, he still was 20. He passed with 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 93 quarterback rate. So by the time Hurts came in on that final year, that last year when Wentz played, and he was a turnover machine. That last year, he was a turnover machine. But that's why I used to think that it should have been a quarterback competition coming into it instead of just handing it off to Hurts. But I mean, that's hindsight. Hurts. I do hope that Hurts can turn it around. I do think that if we get the weapons in here, it can be turned around. Hopefully after the bye, AJ and Devontae back, and we can, see what our offense really can look like.
We'll see. And by the way, I think that was still a dirty hit on Smitty. That was a very, very dirty hit on Smitty.
It was.
I don't like that at all. But we'll see. We got the bye week. Get everybody rested up. We'll see what everybody look like. I heard AJ was running around with his helmet on in practice, so he probably felt he could have gave it a go today. I think it was a smart idea to sit him down, wait one more week.
I agree.
Things could be kind of testy. You think that you're on good, and then you rush it a little fast sooner than possible, and then you set back another couple weeks. So I'm glad they set him down to rest. So hopefully by the time we play Cleveland, that should be an easy game. But this year's Eagles, we got to go week by week. So
hey, don't get too hype about the Chargers beating the Chiefs 10-0. You know the refs is due to step in for that.
Oh yeah, the refs is due to step helping out. Just give it time. Just give it time.
Give it time. It's gonna be that thing. It's gonna be some calls that go the way for the Chiefs.
Facts. So maybe we'll see y'all Thursday. We might do a pregame. A middle of week, John, because they ain't gonna have no game on Sunday. So we might pop in here and do a John on Thursday if any breaking news happens. If Sirianni gets axed, the day that happens, we definitely gotta drop a pod. If Sirianni gets axed in this week, I don't think it's going to happen. Lurie does seem to show a little patience with his coaches and all that, but don't be surprised.
I don't think you can fire him off for this with all the injuries that he got going on. I don't think you can necessarily fire him yet.
That's true. Ethan, you can end the show. He popping it out. I think he's trying to see when he can end the show. Go ahead and end it, Ethan. I'm about to wrap it up myself.
All right, fellas. Well, appreciate everybody checking in.
Hopefully, we're gonna talk about that too. That Captain New York, John. We ain't come on. We ain't do a pot on that.
No, y'all didn't. No, y'all didn't.
You mean we didn't?
I was ready to.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. We might come back Thursday and do it and talk about that on Thursday.
Yeah, after everybody else talked about it for like a week, yeah, we gonna come on a week late.
Yeah, you gonna talk about it now, real quick? I got 10 minutes. Let's go. What you think? What's going on,
bro? I got time. I got time today, cuz.
Now, Ethan and Tim was in full-fledged panic mode when the trade first came through. It's over. They was chicken littling up. Sky's falling as the Knicks have now taken the helm. I do want to see we can't do it now. So we got to get the Knicks fans in here. We got to drop it with the Knicks fans title so we can get all the commentary back from them. We about to sell ourselves short.
Red just said he was waiting for us to discuss it. Well, I mean, we can touch on it a little bit and then come back in depth
right.
and talk about it.
I think it was a great move for the Knicks, obviously. I would have liked to see them with the Villanova squad without trading the bull DiVincenzo, but they got a big that they needed, and because they lost Hartenstein, so they obviously needed to replace him. Thank you, Dwight. He said they had to fire Nick and name more coach so Hurts don't get another OC this year. I would hate the fact if he got another OC. So that, I mean, if they did it, I wouldn't be mad at that. But back to the Knicks, I think that's a great move for them. Do you think that move puts them ahead of the Sixers right now, or even with them, or where you think that move puts the Knicks at?
I don't necessarily think it do. The way I look at it, and I can see if somebody want to think that, but the way I look at it is, well, first of all, I think the trade was actually decent for both teams. I'm not mad at Minnesota. Minnesota got DiVincenzo, a shooter, and they got a big man that could create with the Rock and Randolph. So now you don't have Ant-Man. Don't got to be the only one that can create with the ball in his hand. With Randall, yeah, he don't got to be the only one creating with the Rock. So I do think that helps them, and they still got Gobert as their in the middle defender, whatever else, and rebounder. So the fact that I think they gave up DiVincenzo, that hurts them a little bit for New York. And yes, they did need a big, but you got the big that Bede actually usually plays pretty well against, first off. And then when I look at them versus the Sixers, if I go ahead and I look at everything, right? I'm looking at that series that we had while Embiid was hurt. We lost 4-2, but it was only like a 1 point difference in the total in scoring. So it wasn't like they was blowing us out. And we know that a couple of them games was a little suspect on the calls. So that being said, you telling me now we're replacing Tobias Harris with Paul George. Maxey is a year better, and I do think that Maxey is still developing and getting better every year. And then you still got Embiid coming back, and you replace Drummond as a rebounder coming off where we was getting killed with rebounds. They lost Hartenstein, who was doing a lot of rebounding and stuff for them. They lost some of their toughness. In my opinion, they lost a little bit of their toughness with bringing Cat in to replace Hartenstein. Just a little, and Vincenzo. I think they lost a little bit of their toughness. So we'll see, but I don't think that it puts them over the Sixers. I still think the Sixers is a better team right now.
I mean, I'm not arguing with that. I mean, I think your breakdown was pretty solid. I do think the thing about Cat, though, Cat can get hot and Cat can stretch the floor more than any other big men that they had so far. He can knock the three out. I think Cat last year was shooting like 38% from three. He was shooting something incredible for a center. So he can get your center, your big man. He can help nullify the impact of Joel's defense by pulling him out a little bit. Now, when you pull him out, now the lane opens up a little bit more. You got Brunson cutting to the hole and Hart, the rest of these dudes, and the OG and all them. So it may, I mean, if coached properly, it may offer some advantages for the Knicks. Now, I do agree with you replacing, Tobias Harris with Paul George. To me, that if nobody made a move on the Sixers and Knicks outside the Sixers make that one move. If they straight up just there go my back, my joint was acting up.
I didn't know if it was you or me. I just saw it.
Okay, yeah, I think it was both of them. Both I think
it might have been.
All right. But if we just replace Paul George straight up for Tobias, automatically I'm giving the edge to the Sixers. Just from that move alone. But I do think this.
But you're also saying with a healthy Bede on a bad leg was dropping 30 on him.
I could. All right, I give you that. I give you that. He always hurt, but I give you that. Who knows? He probably be hurt again. I'm calculating.
But he might not, because now you got that backup center, whereas though he might not have to be used as often.
Okay, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But when the Drummond was here before, did he get hurt? Wasn't he hurt when Drummond was here before too? I don't know, but
I don't think he was.
Okay, all right. But either way, with this move, I do think there is some advantages, and I agree with you for both teams. For the Knicks, however, I think
the Knicks had to make that move. Knicks had to make that move if it was available, though.
I agree. I think that place is about even. I could see a 7-game series in the mix. If we had to play them straight up, I think we'll. I could see us fighting for the 2 and 3 seed between us. I still think Boston's the top dog, but I can see the Sixers going for it. Everything considered, injury, free from injury and all that kind of stuff. I can't see us fighting for that second.
But see, that's the other thing, though. If you're talking about Cat being outside, Hartenstein used to do a whole lot of offensive rebound and tapping the ball out and everything else. So if you tell me Cat at the 3-point line, who's that falling on?
I mean, advantage Sixers. No big man in there rebounding. But then you got Hart. Hart led the team in rebounding, didn't he? You still got to box out. Hart had 18 rebounds in one game. Forget Hartenstein. Hart was flying in.
Yeah, but now you got Caleb Martin. Now you got Caleb Martin boxing him out and Paul George boxing him out instead of Tobias Harris and who's Buddy Hield.
All right, let's see. That's our small take on it. We'll be back to talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, see what the Knicks fans got to say about it. But we'll see.
Yeah, the Knicks was built on hustle, and they got rid of hustle players. So and I agree. It is going to be interesting to see how Tibbs feel about. Wait, Tibbs had him over there. Tibbs was in Minnesota with Cat.
Somebody in the comments said him and Cat hate each other. So
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Tibbs was in Minnesota with Cat, with him. And
he had to also, Cat. He had to be okay with it for them to go through with it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not as hate as they say. I don't know. It might not be that much hate.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see. All right, Ethan, come back in. Where you at? Ethan, come back in and end the show. Text him, tell him to come back in.
Appreciate everybody for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and if you ain't subscribed yet, subscribe. And invite your friends to subscribe.
There you go. Share it to your friends. Deuces.
All right. Peace.